Hello, welcome to another episode of Joy's Life Lessons. Joy here. Today I will be sharing with you 12 lessons I got from listening to this CEO. The CEO is Mr. Ayotunde Coker, the MD CEO of Rack Center. If you don't know what that is, go Google that. Now, it was one when I worked as a blogger for Tech Economy, .ng. I had the opportunity to wait back for the event, and it was late, and I didn't want to wait, but my colleagues and co-workers they convinced me to wait behind. So I stayed back, and I expected the normal speaker listeners settings where he's speaking, he's telling us, droning on and on about things we sometimes, many times know, but he's just saying it, and because he is important, we have to listen. And I found out that it was not the case. These lessons, I had to pen them down. I had to time and again I have gone back to them to remind myself of that day. So I'm going to share with you these lessons. There were many lessons because he started by telling us his history of how he went he traveled abroad and grew up there, and how he went from different he worked at different places, and how he came back to Nigeria, and how he had to learn to mix with us, how had to learn to be approachable to his workers, how he had to learn to speak like us and sound like us, how he had to learn to cut his hair to a way that he looked like the average person, how he learned to speak in our mannerisms. Those things were interesting to me. There are things that the average person wouldn't want to do, but he did those things and he showed how he did. So, in telling these stories, he shared with us lessons, and these are just 12 of them I picked, and I'll be sharing them with you. And I hope you get as inspired as I did, as I always do each time I go back to them. There are 12 of them, so from time to time, I'll be looking at my list to share with you. So, number one, the first lesson is do what you have to do. Don't give yourself disadvantages. I remember he shared this point when he said many people give the example of Mark Zuckerberg and other people who who dropped out of school, and how they gave them that they give us examples saying school is not important. That what's important is how you work, or how smart you work to make money. And he said, do what you have to do. Don't give yourself disadvantages. Do not know if the next time, the next opportunity you have might be dependent on the school you refuse to go to, or you dropped out of because you just can't. Don't give yourself disadvantages. Are there things you should do? Are there things you should learn? Go learn it. Are there people you should meet? Go and meet them. Are there places you should go? Go there. In as much as it's not against your values or your beliefs, or it's not against you, it is not wrong to go to school. People that say school is a scam, it doesn't make sense. School is no scam. Yes, the system may be flawed, but school is no scam. There are people I know today, there are friends I meet today because of school. There are people I meet, and the reason we can start a discussion which turns out to be profitable is because we both went to the same school. School is no scam. Are there things you should do? Get it done. Don't give yourself disadvantage, because tomorrow the next opportunity you might have might be dependent on that thing you refused to do because you thought it was not necessary. So, point number one, do what you have to do. Don't give yourself disadvantages. Number two, hustle if you may, but don't underestimate goodwill in business. This thing, why he said it, I saw it over and again when I worked at Tech Economy. Starting with my boss, Mr. Peter. He was someone who, it was hard you mention him somewhere and people don't smile. People knew him, and one thing they kept saying was, your boss is a good man, your boss is a good man. I also know another woman, she's the chief consultant in Lonadec, and she said something. She said that 28 years of her being in the business, most jobs she keeps getting are because of goodwill. These three people, my boss, the MD of Work Center, and the chief consultant of Bonadec, they kept that thing in my head. Be good. The people who will just remember you because of your goodness. And you get a job you didn't expect just because you were good, because of your goodwill, because of you being able to help somebody else when they needed you. So be good, don't be mean, don't be harsh, don't think because you're climbing the ladder you've got everything, so you have the right or the opportunity to step down on people or do whatever you know you don't have to do. Goodwill will help you. Hustle, but don't step on toes. Don't step on toes because you just want to get something. Hustle if you may, but don't underestimate goodwill in business. You might cross this path tomorrow. The goodwill or the goodwill you didn't do, well, you have to face it. And what will the story be? So that's point number 2. Hustle if you may, but don't underestimate goodwill in business. Number 3, optics is not always the thing. You and I know this. Things are rarely just as the same. You see things and you think this is how it is, and when you get the whole story, you wonder, how could I have missed this? Why is it looking different than I had thought? And it happens over and again. Seeing is actually not believing. Seeing is actually not believing. There are many things we've seen, and when we hear the story, when we go deep into them, we find out that they are not as the same. So, in as much as we see things and we are tempted to think that's all there is to it, that is not. You can use this example in different ways. Always be patient to get the story. Always be patient to learn what is actually happening. It will help you so you don't make decisions based on few evidence or little knowledge. That's foolishness actually. Make sure you do the due research. Do what you have to do. Get the information you need before you make your decision. So that when you're making a decision, you're making an informed one. So it's not just how things look, it's actually how things work. Optics is not always the thing. Details. Number 4 is details, details, details. Pay attention to details. Do those little things. Proofread your work over and again. Check that design. Those things. He's in the tech industry, so these things we're talking about were mainly related to tech, and though he worked in banks and everything, but he kept saying the details matter. The details is what shows that you are really interested. Understand? If you're dealing with somebody and you can't, that's why it's important. Why people take it personal when you don't remember my birthday, you don't remember anniversary. Those things are not just. It's not just about the birthday or the anniversary. It's about the fact that you do not pay attention to details. Details is what make us up. The smallest detail, if I may say it, is the cell, the atom, as small as they are, the detail. But that's what makes up the big things we see, the trees, the humans, everything. Start from the cell, start from the atom, whatever it is. All those things. Details, details, details. Number 5, if you say no, if they say no rather, figure out why and figure out how to fix it. If you are rejected, maybe you made a submission or you pitched something or you applied for something and you are rejected, find out why you were rejected. Why did they tell me no? What did I do wrong? What didn't I do right? What was happening? And if it's something you can fix, fix it. That's the only way to come back. That is the only best way. Do not cry foul. Do not cry. Do not throw a pity party. Go and fix it. If they reject you, you should always aim to be the best. That is the point. So if you apply, I said it's not important to you, but if it's important to you, find out why they told you no. Go back and fix it and come back again. You keep trying until you are the best, and they have no option than to tell you yes. That is the best way to live, if you ask me. And I learned this from him. I took it. If they tell you no, find out why and figure out how to fix it. Number 6, you don't have to be the first person in the market for you to redefine the market. There are many times we have an idea and we say, someone have already done it. You get, or maybe you tell somebody, I want to do this, and they say, somebody else is doing it. It is the opportunity for you to go in there and redefine it. If they are doing A in this particular way, you can do A again, but do it in a better way that they will call it B. You can do it. Everyone have their own unique view and ability on things. So if you put in your own uniqueness into things, it becomes different. redefine things. If you come to a market and see that the market is saturated, what can you do differently? What will you do that will innovate, we redefine and become innovative, and people will struggle to meet up? That is what brings about change. That is how people get relevant. So if you you don't have to be the first person in the market for you to redefine the market. So go and redefine that market you think is saturated. Number 7, impossibilities make you innovate. This is self-explanatory. I don't have to say much about this. When you see something that you think is impossible, it gets you thinking, how can this become impossible? That's what impossible does. It makes you think of ways. If there's a mountain and you think, okay, I can't go around it, I can't go on top of it. Okay, fine, I'll go through it. That's innovation. Building roads through mountains. Finding a way, whatever it is that is standing before you as being impossible. Think of ways to innovate. Number 8, impossible is someone else's idea of what is not possible. Your definition of impossible may not be another person's own. So when someone tells you it's impossible, remind them that's your idea. I respect your idea, but it's yours. It's not possible. But to me, I will find a way to make it possible. And this brings me to one of my favorite quotes said by Jesus Christ. I tell people when he said this, I don't think he was talking to just Christians or the Jews. He was talking to humanity. He said everything is possible to him that believes. See, the power of belief is when you believe something is possible, it becomes possible. And you do everything, you walk, you breathe, you see, you act in a way that makes that thing, that shows that thing is possible. And before you know it, it becomes possible. Impossible is someone's idea of what is not possible. It doesn't have to be your own idea. Number 9, always know when to reinvent yourself. Don't wait for things to happen and you now wake up and start trying to make changes. It reminds me of the book I once read, Who Moved My Cheese? I don't know if you who read that, if any of you have read that book. Who Moved the Cheese? It talked about a mice or a mouse or a rat, I don't know. The cheese, there was a stock of cheese and the cheese was diminishing day by day. He comes there, he eats. And he didn't observe that it was going down until one day he came and there was no cheese. And he said someone moved the cheese. Nobody moved the cheese is finished. So it happens. If he was a smart mouse, he would have found a way to get more. He would have found a way to either move to a better place to get more cheese or better, maybe, who knows, better flavor. Reinvent yourself. Don't wait for things to happen before you now wake up. Reinvent yourself for the future. The things are changing. Things change as fast as this. So reinvent yourself. Always know, always be observant and notice when it's time to reinvent yourself and do that. Number 10, if you drive everything you do through customer experience, you will never go wrong. This is for those of us who are creatives, those of us who are making something, those of us who try to do something or the other for people. We think we think there's a market or we think there's a solution to a problem. Always drive it through the customer, the people you're making it for. If you look at it from their eyes, from their view, you can't go wrong because they are the people you're making it for. It's basic sense. It's not rocket science. The people you're making it for, you have to ask them. You have to make research. You have to be sure that it works for them. Don't just do something because you love it. Do something because they like it. It's for them. You cannot buy the whole thing you're creating. You're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for them. So if you drive everything you do through customer experience, you will never go wrong. This applies to you no matter what you do. In as much as you're in a place, you're in a business, you're in a market which serves people, be it a product, a service, a system, whatever it is you do, in as much as it's for the people, if you drive it through customer experience, you will not go wrong. And you always have your market coming back to you over and again. Number 11, don't be indispensable. Be highly valuable. If you're indispensable, I remember him saying, you'll be stuck at a place. You understand? They won't let you go out. For instance, you're in a company and you are the best. They know you're the best. And each time you try to leave, they increase your salary. They keep you there. You don't get the experience. You're all there. Man, if this man leaves, we would have nobody. So you're indispensable. But you are there. You're stuck there. But if you're highly valuable, it doesn't mean they can't do without you. They can do without you. But wherever you go, you are relevant. Understand? And that is why it is necessary that you teach other people. You make sure you people around you are people that motivate you to get better. They motivate you to want to do better than you are doing. Don't ride on being the best, as in I am the most intelligent among my peers. You are not in the right place. You need to be in a place that you are motivated, you are pushed, you have healthy competition. You understand? And so they are sure that this person is really good, but they cannot say we can't do without him. Never be in a place where they say we cannot do without you. It is not a healthy place. And that brings us to number 12. You don't have to be in the detail. You just have to pay attention to details. It's not all about you. Those people that always pursue the title of CEO, COO, or whatever sees, it is not the best. It's not about always. It's not about you being seen or heard or known. It's about paying attention to details. You've done the thing. You know what is important, and that's how people are valuable. Because people become valuable. They know that they show that if this person is here, we will not make this mistake because you pay attention to detail. You may do these things and go back to the background, but they know the people in your team know who helped us do this thing. So you don't have to be seen all over the newspapers or on the news as the CEO, founder, co-founder, and all those other titles that many people try to struggle for. That doesn't have to be, but make sure you pay attention to details. No matter the work you have, don't forget your job. Don't forget your work because of a job. Know your work. Your work is to make this work. Your work is to make sure that the customer loves this product. Your work is to do this. So your job title may be one thing or the other, but do not forget your work. Make sure that your work, you pay attention to details. So with these 12 lessons, I hope you have better idea on how to navigate through life, how to navigate through business, and how to just be happy in your relationships. Because they do, once in a while I go back to them where I wrote them and I just thought to share with you. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comment section. If you need me to type them out and send to you, you can demand that in the comment section too. So please like, share, subscribe, and turn on the notification so that you can get as many videos as I send. You get notifications sent to you. I will see you in the next lesson. Bye.